Have you ever wondered how a single choice, a single moment of passion, could ignite a war that would be sung about for thousands of years? This is the story of the Trojan War, a tale of gods and mortals, love and loss, glory and devastation. It all started not with armies or kings, but with a golden apple thrown into a divine celebration. Bearing the inscription to the fairest, three goddesses laid claim to it: Hera, queen of the gods; Athena, the wise warrior; and Aphrodite, the goddess of love. How they chose a mortal to decide their fate. Paris. Handsome prince of Troy. Hera offered him immense power, the rule over vast kingdoms. Athena promised him unmatched wisdom and victory in every battle. Aphrodite's offer was different. She leaned in and whispered of a love that could shake the world, promising him the hand of Helen of Sparta, the most beautiful woman alive. Paris, a young man ruled by his heart, chose love. He chose Aphrodite. But this choice came with a terrible price. Helen was already married to Menelaus, the king of Sparta. When Paris sailed to Sparta, and with Aphrodite's help, stole Helen away to the mighty city of Troy, he didn't just steal a queen, he ignited a firestorm. Bound by a sacred oath, the kings and heroes of Greece united. They amassed 1,000 ships, their sails like a thundercloud on the horizon, all pointed toward the shores of Troy. Their mission was clear: bring Helen back and burn Troy to the ground. For 10 long, brutal years, the Greeks laid siege to the impenetrable city. The sands outside Troy's walls became soaked with the blood of heroes. The greatest of them all was Achilles, a warrior so fierce he seemed more god than man. He clashed with Hector, Troy's noble protector and greatest champion. In a climactic duel that silenced both armies, they fought for honor, for their people, for their very lives. Achilles, fueled by grief and rage over the death of his companion, was unstoppable. He struck Hector down, and in an act that horrified even the gods, he tied Hector's body to his chariot and dragged it in the dust around the city walls, a grim spectacle for the Trojans to behold from their ramparts. The gods themselves couldn't stay away from such a monumental conflict. They chose sides, their divine power clashing on the battlefield alongside mortals. Zeus thundered from the heavens, Apollo rained down arrows of plague, and Athena and Hera fueled the Greek rage. The air was thick with the smoke of burning siege towers, the clang of bronze on bronze, and the desperate cries of the dying. Heroes fell, cities mourned, and still, the walls of Troy stood, defiant and proud. After a decade of stalemate, it was clear that brute force alone would not win this war. Victory would require a mind as sharp as any sword. And so, the cunning Odysseus of Ithaca stepped forward with a plan born of desperation and genius. "Let us build a gift," he proposed, "a tribute so grand the Trojans cannot refuse it." The Greeks constructed a colossal wooden horse, a magnificent hollow effigy. They dedicated it to the gods for a safe voyage home, and then they appeared to give up. The entire Greek fleet sailed away, disappearing over the horizon. The Trojans awoke to a silent beach and a single stunning offering. Believing the war was finally over, they celebrated. Against the warnings of their prophets, they dragged the great wooden horse inside their city gates as a trophy of their hard-won victory. That night, Troy feasted. Wine flowed, songs of triumph echoed through the streets, and the city finally let its guard down. But as the Trojans slept, a hidden trapdoor in the belly of the wooden horse opened. Odysseus and a band of elite Greek warriors silently descended into the heart of the city. They slaughtered the sentries, threw open the massive gates, and signaled to the Greek fleet, which had been hiding just out of sight. The army swarmed in. What followed was not a battle, but a massacre. Troy burned. Its legendary towers, which had stood for generations, crumbled into fire and ash. King Priam was cut down at his own altar, and the dream of Troy was extinguished forever. And Helen, the face that launched 1,000 ships, watched from the walls as the city that had been her home and her prison was consumed by the very war her beauty had sparked. The Trojan War reminds us that the grandest events in history often spring from the most human of emotions: love, jealousy, pride, and revenge. It's a timeless epic of how heroes are made and broken. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed this story and want to explore more epic tales, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next video.